Hey everyone, so today I wanted to do a bit of a quicker video today, and I want to get maybe a couple of videos out this week before Sunday, just a couple of extra videos, just to do some reviews on some movies that I've seen recently. And today I'm going to be talking about the 2022 reboot of Hellraiser. Now, the original Hellraiser is one of my favourite movies of all time. I think it is a masterpiece. I'm serious. I think that it is an incredible movie. And I think it's pretty damn underrated, actually. I think a lot of people like it, but I don't think a lot of people give it the respect it deserves. So, obviously, I was hesitant going into a reboot, remake kind of thing. It's kind of halfway between. Well, it's actually not really halfway between at all. This is completely different. So, Hellraiser is about a young woman struggling with addiction who comes into possession of a mysterious ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites, a group of sadistic supernatural beings from another dimension. This film was directed by David Bruckner, who has done 2 films prior to this. He did The Ritual in 2017 and The Night House in 2020. I've seen The Ritual. I didn't think it was that good. I think a lot of people seem to actually really like it, but I found it to be extremely mediocre, and I haven't seen The Night House, although it does look interesting. But Hellraiser, I will say, was a much better movie than The Ritual. Does this movie hold a candle to the original Hellraiser? No, but it was a really nice surprise. I think that Odessa Asian, however you say, the girl that plays Riley, I think she did a really good job. I think the character was really well written, really interestingly written, and she played her extremely well, I thought. I really loved the design of the Cenobites. I thought all of them were great. They were all memorable. I loved the presence that they gave. Each time they came on screen, it was really suspenseful, and just like, real... You feel like, your guts are just falling out. You're like, oh shit. I think that this movie had some great gore, although not quite as gory as it could have been. There are definitely some memorable kills in here and some stuff that was great, but it sounds like a weird request, but I wanted it to be a little bit more gratuitous. Like, the original Hellraiser is famous for that, and it's kind of a weird request, but it's a staple of the franchise. It's what makes Hellraiser is the gratuity of it all. And just like that and the themes of not being able to, divide pleasure and pain and stuff like it's all really interesting stuff, and I think that this movie lacked it a little bit. I actually really liked the ending of this movie. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but I thought the way that it concluded was really cool and really interesting and put just some other things into perspective. And overall, I think that this was a pretty good movie. I liked it. I think it was well done. I think it was shot pretty well. I think there was a lot of memorable shots of especially of Pinhead, who was played excellently by Jamie Clayton, actually. I really love this Pinhead, or the Hell Priest, or just the Priest as she's credited as. I thought it was excellent. Things kind of take a negative for me when we're actually talking about the story. I found the addiction subplot really only existing to give our main character a little bit of depth, but its main purpose seemed to be to just bog the first act down in a bunch of shit. When you're kind of just watching it, you're like, yeah, okay, come on, move on. And I found the laws and logic surrounding the Cenobites a little too incoherent. Like, just, there were some things where I'm like, they can do that? Okay. I found all that a bit weird. I found there's kind of an element regarding the outside of a mansion and how that interacts with the Cenobites, and I don't know, I didn't really buy into it. I know I'm supposed to, suspend my disbelief. It's a fucking shitty horror movie, for Christ's sake, but something about it it just stretched a little bit of, it just stretched my beliefs a little bit too far for me able to put my disbelief on hold. I guess, I know, I don't care if it's, like, it might sound a bit unfair, but it's just how I feel. And also, another problem I had was regarding the other characters. I halfway through, I just kind of forgot who they were. They kind of just came into a big blur. It just... yeah, the characters didn't do much for me outside of Riley. They put a lot of effort into her character, obviously, and I think that was good, but in doing that, I think they kind of lost stuff with the other characters. And if I'm being honest as well, I think that this movie is a bit lengthy. It overstays its welcome, which is where the addiction subplot comes back into it, because if that had been trimmed down and get all the melodramatic bullshit out of the first 30 minutes, this could have been a much better, 100, 115 minute movie rather than the 120 minute movie that it is. But overall, this is a good movie. It's not without flaws, but it is a good movie, and I enjoyed watching it. I would have no problems watching it again. I would recommend you see it if you're a fan of horror, especially if you're a fan of Hellraiser, because I think that this movie does a really good job at just revitalizing a franchise. Guys, I'm going to give Hellraiser 3 stars. Thanks so much for watching my review of the Hellraiser reboot. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think of the movie if you've seen it, and I'll see you all later. Bye.